to send a task through approvals. So again, each project is made up of a bunch of different tasks. These tasks should be pretty straightforward and streamlined, and they'll often have different subtasks. Most of the time, when a piece of a project is going through approvals, it's going to be these different subtasks. Again, most of the time, these are going to be broken down in a way where each piece needs to go through a different approval process. Again, maybe we're doing the typography guide and the photography guide concurrently with each other, but we still want them to be reviewed separately before we then stitch all of these together into one guidebook. So keep that in mind as account managers or as creatives, as you're looking at the structure of a project, as you're creating it, keep in mind that that's kind of the objective with these subtasks, is that we're creating these subtasks as all of the different pieces of the project that are going to need to go through the approval process. So let's look at this landing page project, for example. We'll notice we have the start date and the end date in here already, and it's already in progress. And again, this is primarily a design project, so we're going to have design as the department there, but we'll notice these different elements have different departments that are going to be taking a look at them. So we want to make sure that each piece is going through an individual approval process, and that we're communicating that to the different people that are going to be approving it. So let's drill down for a second, specifically at the site mockup. Let's say that we've already completed most of these, and these are all done. So we're at that point where we've built out the site mockup, and the student says, I think it's basically ready to go. If I'm this example student right here and it's in progress, before you send it through approvals, make sure that all the information they need is here. Make sure that the right link is in here that they're going to be able to access and review and comment on. Make sure that you've provided any information here. In this case, I haven't. Make sure that any of that information is documented here. So when a faculty member opens it up or the department head opens it up, they don't have a lot of questions. They're already going to know everything they need to about the project at a quick glance at this, so they can focus their time and energy on jumping straight into reviewing it and approving it before without having to go through the process of asking a whole lot of follow-up questions. So if this is ready for approval, then you're going to switch the status from in progress to lead approval. Now, because the department is already tagged on here, it's going to change the creative then to the lead who's already set on the project. So all of a sudden it's changed hands, and now this is the person who's going to be looking at it. If they go to their individual task page, they're going to see that now showing up on their task page. Normally, they're going to go straight to this approvals page, which is linked right here, and it's also in the sidebar here. The approvals page is where everything that isn't in progress, everything that's ready to be reviewed, is going to land. We can see everything in here. And normally, as a base level creative, you're not going to be on this page a lot. It's still good to go because and become familiar and make sure that it's pulled through in here. Because we have these guidelines here. These are the standards and expectations that fall on you, that you should be communicating. You should be giving them enough time. You should be excited to receive feedback from your student leaders and from faculty. And then these are guidelines and kind of instructions for the people who are going to be reviewing it. So if I'm a department head, if I'm over design, and I notice I've been tagged on this, I can see here's the timeline for the project. I can see the name of the task, and I can really quickly open it up and look at it and review it. If we're looking at the site mockup project, we can also see this is the parent task and that this is one of those subtasks. So we're going to review the site mockup. We can open it up. We can go to the review link. And then it should be if they're sharing a link instead of an original file, you should be able to leave comments on it. So if it's in Figma or if it's in Canva, if it's in Frame.io, you can go through and you can click and you can leave comments in real time. If it's not that type of file, if it's not in Google Docs or any of those other places, then you can keep all of your feedback documented in here. If you want to record a video, if you want to leave screenshots, if you just want to leave written notes, this is the place where you would leave those notes if you can't leave it on the file that's already been sent over. If the department head feels great and approves it, then they're going to go ahead and move it to CD approval, creative director approval. If they think it needs a lot more work done, then they're going to go ahead and switch it back to in progress and re-tag the creative that it was assigned to. And then with that, they should also probably leave a comment here with a little bit more of an explanation of why it needs to be re-reviewed. All the full feedback can be contained here or on the file, but that comment can just be kind of a quick summary of this is why I need you to take another look at it. See here for more feedback. That way they get that notification right away and they can jump straight back into that. If they decide it is approved, then it'll switch from lead approval to creative director approval. And then again, it's going to automate swapping out that creative for now the creative director. Creative director is going to go through the same process of leaving comments and feedback or going ahead and approving it. You'll notice here that it's moved from lead approval on this page and it's now under CD approval right here. So again, make sure that that status is always updated because then when the creative director logs in, this is the first page they're going to go to and they can see really quickly, these are all of the projects, all of the different tasks that I need to review and I need to approve. Same thing for faculty. They're going to log on, they're going to look for their department and they're going to see what's ready to be reviewed in my department. So if the creative director approves this, it's going to go straight to faculty. And again, because it has the right department added to it, it's going to automatically tag the faculty assigned to that department. Faculty, if they sign off, they're going to send it to client approval. Because that's going to then notify the account executives that it's time for them to send it to the client. And then we've got all of those in here as well. Everything that's ready to send to client is going to be right here. And then as soon as it's been sent to the client, then the account manager is going to change that status for them. And that's really all you need to know about how the approval process works in Notion. Again, if it gets up to faculty level, or even if it gets up to client level, and the client gives us the feedback saying, nope, we need to backtrack, we need to make some major changes, all of that should then be documented in here. The account manager should relay all of that feedback, and then we move it back to in progress. If we need to change the deadline at that point after talking with the client, we'll go in and change that deadline as well. And you make sure that when you switch it back to in progress, you go back and you tag the creatives who are working on that project. And then it's going to be back in their workload and they'll be able to see it and they can continue to make progress on it.